Okay, in today's video I'll be assembling the Viper, the Viper repeating bow, magazine fed repeating bow. This has a magazine here where you put the bolts in. You could put 7 of them in there. But I'll be assembling this thing today and I'll show you how to do that. It's quite simple. You just need the right tools. It did come with the Allen wrenches, but I found it a lot easier to use torque screwdrivers. This is a T15. This is a T25. This is a T8. So we'll be using the T15 first. So I'm going to get the trigger mechanism in. It goes in just like this. Like that. This is probably the most difficult thing to get in to this thing. You get the spring in. The trigger goes in this way. Yeah, this part is the most difficult part to get in. If you can get this in, everything else is pretty easy. It's in, so now we need to get the screw in here. This side goes in here like that. I need to use a screw here. I think it's this one. It's the T15. I also need to get the nut in there. I'll get that in right after. The nut is here. And it's got to connect to that. That's how you get it in. And I want to see if the trigger works as well. That's the most important part of this bow, is the release trigger. Okay, feel the screw going into the nut. Tighten that, I think it's in. Let's see. Yeah, it's in. As you can see, the trigger is working. That's the main part of it, the most important part. I just want to screw it in. Now we need to get the other screws in. Here, the nut part goes in here, as you can see. It's a hexagonal shape. Get the screw in here like that. We have to use a Phillips head screwdriver for this part. And we need to put the nut in there as well, so it connects right here. Make sure that's in there nice and firm. The next screw, Phillips screw, sorry. Just thread it in with your finger. And then just screw it in. And then get the nut in as well on the other side, like that. Hold it with your finger and just screw it in. You don't have to over tighten it, just make sure it's in there nice and firm. Like that, that's it. That's good enough. Just like that. Now this is a trigger mechanism. We need to put the bow in there. Okay, now I'm going to install the limbs. The limbs go here, like this. I think this is the front, where you put the grip, like this. But we can't put the grip in first, we have to put in the bow limb first. Before we do that, we need to put in this thing. And you need a special type of bit, a torque bit. It's called a T25 torque bit, as you can see here. Put the screw in there like that, the torque screw bit, like this. Make sure you put it in there. First we want to get it in. Get it in like this, in here. So it comes out that way. And we need to put in a couple of things before we do that. We need to put this in. Put it in there like that, as you can see. think it would be better if we just put it in the other way, like that. Put in this metal piece. There's a sticker with the rubber piece on it. Make sure you get it onto the metal piece. Stick it on there, and this is how it goes in, like this. This is a little bit hard to get in. Let's get this in first, like that. I think it goes in this way. I don't think we can get it in with a metal piece in. I think it has to go in first like this. Get it in like that. Get the metal piece in here next. Whoops. Like that. Wedge it in and put the other piece in here like that. Okay, that's good. We have to center it though. Make sure it's symmetric. That looks symmetric, I think. Now we have to get the screw in like here. I think I got that in wrong. This is the front, I think. Because the grip goes in here. It's kind of confusing in a way. You have to get it into the right orientation or it's simply not going to work. Okay, good that way. I'm not going to tighten it all the way. I'm just going to try to get it so I could get it in symmetrically. Okay, that looks pretty symmetric. We don't want to over tighten it. We just want to make sure it's on there nice and firm. Until it doesn't turn anymore, but don't try to over tighten it. Okay, that's good, I think. That's pretty symmetric. Now we need to put the pistol grip on. It goes in like this. Here's a screw, there's the nut. We have to put the nut on the top and screw in the bottom. Weave it through. Just like that. And then screw it in with a, we need to get another bit. This bit is the bit. This is a T8 bit. I don't want to over tighten it until I put all the screws in. Then I want to tighten it. The next one. The last screw. Now I want to make sure all the screws are on tight. You don't want to over tighten it. Good. Okay, that's good. I think that's nice and firm like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to mount this rail piece onto the frame. That's what I'll do next. So now I'm going to get the rail on. I think it just goes in one way. We have to get it in correctly though. We have to match it with the as you can see, the screws are like in this position. So we have to get it in the right orientation. Like this. And the other side goes in this way. We have all the screws that align. If you get it in this way, it's not going to align, as you can see. So make sure you get it into the right orientation. So this is correct. So let's do it. Okay. We have a screw and a nut, like before. Screw and a nut. And the nut goes on the bottom, so that helps us secure it into place. Like that. And we have to use a T8 bit again. The same bit that I used for the pistol grips. I don't want to tighten it all the way in. I just want to make sure it's nice and firm. Whoops. Okay. Because we got to get the other side to secure it in place. So here's the other side. Like that. Get the other side as well. Screw and nut on the bottom. Okay, good. The next one I'll put here. And there. I'm not tightening it yet, I'm just getting the screws in first. This is so much easier to do with this bit and screwdriver, torque bits screwdriver, opposed to using the Allen wrench that came with it, which is a lot more difficult to do. Now I'll be screwing it on tight so everything is firmly in place, the rail is. You don't want to over tighten it, just make sure it's on there nice and firm. No need to over tighten it. Get the other hand. The rail basically helps you put the handle on there and the bow limb basically, so you could use the bow basically. Now I want to get the rest of the screws in. Make sure those screws are nice and firm. Okay, so I will get the rest of them in. There's 4 more. Same procedure. Whoops. Yeah, this thing actually makes it easier to do, because if you try to do this with the torque bit, it's going to be a lot harder. This kit comes with everything you need, but I highly recommend you get the torque bits that I'm using right now. Torque bit screwdriver. Because it's easier. Takes less time too. So you do have to put the nut, push the nut in a little bit to get it so that it would thread. So once it threads, you can secure it in place. Okay, that's good. So we got two more here. 1 and 2. Okay, and the last screw and nut here. The bit fell out. Well, that's okay, I'll just tighten it again. Okay, good. Just want to make sure all of these screws and nuts are in place. Nice and tight. Firm, actually. Nice and firm. And I'm going to string the bow after the last part of it. Okay, good. Now everything's in there good. This is how it works. There's one more thing we need to install. We need to install this sight thing. We need a Phillips head screwdriver to install that. I think it goes in here like that. Here's the small Phillips head screws. There's 2 of them. 1 and 2. I think it just goes in one way like that, as you can clearly see. Put the next one in. Just want to get it in. You could put any kind of sight you want on here. You could put an optical sight, you could put a red dot, I'm sorry, or a laser, or whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. The screw isn't very long, because if it's too long, you're going to have a problem. You will interrupt. This is where the bolts come out. You don't want it to be too long. So this is how you put in the thing. You could put sight on it if you want. I don't want to use a sight, so I'm not using it. Okay, so now I'm going to string the bow. Put the end cap on. I'm gonna get the string in as well. You know what, I'll get the string through first. Get it through here. Just like that. Put the end cap on. Tie one end in. Just like so. And put my right foot on one of the limbs, as you can see, like that. And I'm going to push back here and string it, basically. Like that. Got the other end cap on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step on it with my right feet and pull back here and string it. Now it's strung, as you can see. The bow is strung. It's as easy as that. That's how you string it. You just load the bolts in here. You press this with both fingers, like that, and push up. This comes up, and you can load it with bolts from the top. You could put about 8 bolts. Just put 3 in, and then you just close this, and now the bolts in the magazine, like that. Take it out, same thing, or you could shoot them out if you want. Just get it out like that. I'm just going to unstring it and we're going to finish up this video. My left feet is there. I'm going to put pressure on my right feet and pull back here and then unstring it like that. And that's it, it's unstrung. That's how you unstring it. I'm just going to take the string out. You should always unstring the bow when you're not using it. And I have a video where I show you shooting this bow, and you could look at that video in the top right corner. Thanks for watching.